Great moments create great opportunities. Of all things, I liked books best. Inventors have no time for married life. It's not the love you do, it's the love you give. What one person calls God, another calls the laws of physics. May you live to see man-made horrors beyond your understanding. Be alone. This is the secret of invention. Be alone. Only then thoughts are born. Individuals are ephemeral, races and nations come and go, but man lives. When they call you crazy, remember that great ideas don't come from average minds. If you only knew the grandeur of 3, 6, and 9, you would have the key to the universe. If you want to discover the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. If your hatred could be converted into electricity, it would light up the whole world. I don't think you can name many great inventions made by married men. I don't care that they stole my idea. I care that they don't have anyone of their own. The progressive development of man depends on invention. It is the most important product of his creative mind. Most people are so absorbed in contemplating the outside world that they are completely unaware of what is happening within themselves. Our virtues and our failings are as inseparable as force and matter. When they are separated, man ceases to exist. We crave new sensations, but soon become indifferent to them. Yesterday's surprises are common occurrences today. Life is and always will be an equation that cannot be solved, but involves certain known factors. Intelligent people have fewer friends than the average person. The smarter you are, the more selective you can be. Sure, some planets are not inhabited, but others are. And life must exist in all of these conditions and stages of development. One must be sane to think clearly, but one can think deeply and be quite crazy. When I review the events of my past life, I realize how subtle are the influences that shape our destiny. Peace can come only as the natural result of universal enlightenment and the merging of races, and we are still a long way from this blissful realization. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. Let the future speak the truth, and evaluate everyone according to his work and achievements. The present is theirs. The future, which I have actually worked for, is mine. Invention is the most important product of man's creative mind. The ultimate aim is the complete mastery of the mind over the material world, harnessing human nature to human needs. My brain is only a receiver. The universe has a core from which we draw knowledge, power, and inspiration. I have not penetrated into the mysteries of this origin, but I know that it exists. Every living being is an engine geared to the wheel of the universe. Although it appears to be affected only by its immediate surroundings, the sphere of external influence extends to infinite distances. All that was great in the past was ridiculed, condemned, contested, suppressed, only to emerge from the struggle stronger and more victorious. Today's scientists have substituted mathematics for experiments, and they wander through equation after equation, and eventually build a structure that has no connection with reality. The gift of mental strength comes from God being divine, and if we focus our minds on that truth. So we become in tune with this great power. My mother taught me to seek all truth in the Bible. My method is different. I don't rush the actual work. When I get an idea, I immediately start creating it in my imagination. I alter the construction, make improvements, and operate the device entirely with my mind in mind. I do not think that there is any such thrill that can pass through the human heart as that felt by the inventor as he brings some creation of the brain to fruition. Such feelings make a man forget food, sleep, friends, love, everything. What we want most now is closer contact and better understanding between individuals and communities throughout the world, and the abolition of that fanatic devotion to high ideals of national egoism and glory, which always tends to plunge the world into primitive barbarism and strife. What we want now is closer contact and better understanding between individuals and communities all over the earth, and the elimination of egoism and pride, which always plunge the world into primitive barbarism and conflict. Peace can only come as a natural consequence of a universal wisdom. The scientific man does not aim for immediate results. They do not expect that their advanced ideas will be taken lightly. His work is like a planter for the future. Their duty is to lay the foundation and show the way for those who are to come. He lives and labors and hopes. I have been credited with being one of the hardest workers, and I probably am, if thought equals labor, because I have dedicated almost all my waking hours to it. But if work is interpreted as a certain amount of performance in a certain time according to a rigid rule, then at worst I could be idle. Today, the most civilized countries of the world spend maximum part of their income on war and minimum on education. The 21st century will reverse this sequence. Fighting ignorance would be more glorious than dying on the battlefield. The discovery of a new scientific truth will be more important than the wrangling of diplomats. Even the newspapers of our own time have come to consider scientific discoveries and the formulation of fresh philosophical concepts as news. 21st century newspapers will give just a stick in the back pages about crime or political controversies, but will announce a new scientific hypothesis on the front pages.